My name is Suresh Ramachandran. I am a pastor from Sri Lanka, and I have decided to make a small video in English, not in Sinhala, intended to His Eminence, the Cardinal Reverend Malcolm Ranjith. I don't know if His Eminence would look at this video, whether he would see this. Nonetheless, I'm making this video for those of you who are watching this from Sri Lanka and from other countries, so that you can know briefly what's transpiring in Sri Lanka in relation to Christians, Catholics, and the other religious people in Sri Lanka. Some unpleasant things are happening, and yet again, Christians are targeted by many people, labeled as extremists. And I'm not here to defend Christians. I'm not here to defend pastors. Why? Because we have gone through persecution for the past 2,000 years of Christianity. In the first awakening of Christianity itself, persecution began. And Christians have been slaughtered, martyred, and persecuted throughout the 2,000 years in almost every country that they went in. And we Christians have been persecuted in Sri Lanka, and I personally have gone through a lot of persecution. I was persecuted in 1979 when I became a Christian from being a Hindu, and then I went through numerous episodes of persecution throughout my Christian life and my ministry as a pastor. Now, I was initially planning to make this video in Sinhala, but I saw some pastors who have responded to His Eminence statement to the media in Sinhala, so I thought to talk in English. Now, let me start with addressing His Eminence himself. Your Eminence, with all due respect to you and to your great office that you hold, I would want to very politely mention a few things to you. Your Eminence, as we are talking about this anti-conversion issue, that people should be refrained from being converted. Your Eminence, what about your ancestors? Prior to AD 1505, to be specific, prior to the arrival of the Portuguese, there were no Christians in Sri Lanka. Well, there are those who claim that yes, there were Christians in the first century with the coming of the Apostle Thomas to India and the discovery of the Anuradhapura cross, so on and so forth. But let's not get into those things. Prior to 1505, Your Eminence, even your people, your family, your ancestors were either Buddhists or animists. They got converted. Your name, one of your first names, Ranjith, is a Sanskrit name used by Hindus and Buddhists alike. The meaning of that name, obviously you know, Your Eminence, is a powerful prince or powerful king. And your conversion was okay because it happened to your ancestors. And you're not supposed to convert now. Now, I don't understand that, Your Eminence. The Buddhists were not Buddhists before Buddhism came to Sri Lanka some 2,000 years ago. They were all animists, and they converted to Buddhism. And your ancestors converted to Catholicism. I converted to Christianity in 1979. And many Christians have converted to Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, and many Buddhists and Hindus also have converted to Islam. So this conversion is happening. So was it right when it happened in the past, and is it wrong that it's happening now? Why are we so anti-conversion minded when we ourselves have been converted from some religion to what we are now. Yes, Your Eminence, I know that you were not converted into Christianity. You were born a Catholic. But your forefathers were converted. And today, I am perturbed by a statement that you have issued publicly to the news media. I would very politely want to make you aware that you have committed the same mistake that a lot of general populace have committed these days. A lot of people in Sri Lanka don't know the difference between Christians and Catholics. Although Christians and Catholics are different. Of course, Catholics are Christians. But when I say Christians, I mean the non-Roman Catholic Christians. The non-Roman Catholics and the Roman Catholics are completely different. That we all know. But most of those who are out there in the world don't know, Your Eminence. And that's why when they were talking against pastors, they used the word Catholic, and of course they used your name. When your name was mentioned, and when Roman Catholics was mentioned, you were so perturbed, you were so worried, you wanted to clear the name of Catholics and yourself, Your Eminence, and then you uttered those statements in which you have completely disowned the pastors. But in doing so, what you have done is that you have planted a seed of ignorance on the part of those ignorant populace that all pastors are crooks. That all pastors are completely disowned by the Catholics. So anybody coming under the name pastor must be a crook. While I believe that there are conversions that are taking place because of money, false promises, false healings, and for other material gain, so on and so forth, I want to tell you, Your Eminence, that there are pastors who are not entertaining these things. And I am such a pastor. Again, I want to tell you, Your Eminence, that I am not here to defend the pastors. I'm not here to defend Christians. Why? We see in the book of Acts that Stephen, was stoned to death, followed by many Christians throughout the 2000 year history of our Christianity. Haven't we seen persecution, martyrdoms, and ostracization in mass, national, international scale? So is it new if we are persecuted? Now, when I got converted to Christianity in 1979, I was persecuted by my Hindu family members, including my own mother. But if I was converted due to, say, material reasons or financial gain or whatever, then I would have reverted back to Hinduism between 1979 and now, to 2021. Why am I still a Christian and I am a pastor? Why am I that? Because of my conviction. My conviction that the Lord Jesus Christ is God and He became a man and He died for my sins and He forgave my sins, and through Him I can go to heaven. I got converted. I became a believer. Now, Your Eminence, we know only too well the expression born again and its meaning, although people outside Christendom don't really know. And today in Sri Lanka, the expression born again has become a taboo word. It now refers to extremists. And alas, even you, Your Eminence, have stated in your statement that these pastors are extremists. So you also have sown the seed of antagonism into the hearts of those people by labeling that there is a new kind of extremism in Sri Lanka. Haven't we had enough of these extremistic problems in our country, Your Eminence? Not all Tamils were extremists. There were some. Not all Sinhala people were extremists. There were some politically. And not all Muslims are extremists. On the same token, not all pastors are extremists, Your Eminence. And when you said what you said, when your statement reached the ears of the innocent populace who are ignorant already, they are going to misconstrue the truth, and they are going to assume that all pastors are crooks and all Christians and pastors are extremists. So here now we have to deal with a new kind of extremism, which is called the Christian extremism. Extremism as proposed by pastors. And extremism in our country, in many occasions, has led to terrorism. And even your churches, Your Eminence, and one of our churches, the Vatican Zion Church, have been victims of terrorism. And now, are we going to be labeled terrorists because of your statement, Your Eminence? I am very appalled, saddened by you disowning us to others who don't know our differences. You could have defended the Roman Catholic Church and of course your name, Your Eminence, by simply stating that no, it is not Catholics who do that and we have nothing to do with that. But Your Eminence, you used the word pastors, and I am a pastor and there are pastors, and the innocent Sri Lankan people are going to think that I am an extremist and all the pastors are extremists, and they are going to wait till we grow to become terrorists. That has happened in Sri Lanka. Extremists have become terrorists. And we have had enough bloodshed in this country. We have had enough turmoil. We have had enough antagonism in this country. Are we going to allow another such antagonism based on our own statements? It doesn't matter if the outside world doesn't know that. They're going to target me also. They're going to think that I am also a crook going about converting innocent people. That happened to me also. You know, in Sri Lanka, I have gone through a lot of persecution based on the wrong assumption of the people that I am here to convert people. It took decades for them to realize that I am not. And therefore, I am living a peaceful life. Now, I am not making this video in fear of my losing my peaceful life. No. I have gone through all kinds of persecutions since 1979. And if a new persecution erupts against me, it's not going to be new to me. I have been through many tunnels. Another one is not going to make a big difference, Your Eminence. One day I'm going to die. All of us are going to die. And we have a hope, the Lord Jesus Christ, the hope of our glory. And so I'm not afraid to die. That is not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video to bring to your kind attention, Your Eminence, that your statement of disowning pastors and calling them extremists, you have planted a very poisonous seed among ignorant people. You may have scholastic founding and foundation and stable premise upon which you uttered those statements. But to the common hearer who doesn't know any of those premises, it is a very, very disturbing, perturbing statement, Your Eminence. They are going to think all pastors and all Christians are crooks. We have to allow only the Roman Catholic Church to remain in Sri Lanka, and let's get rid of all the rest who call themselves Christians. Is that what you want, Your Eminence? I don't think so. You are such a kind-hearted person. We have seen you in the past, how you handled the situations, especially after the Easter bombings. You prevented, Your Eminence, you prevented bloodshed subsequent to the Easter bombing. And you were hailed for that sort of a heroism, and hats off to you for that. But then now you have planted a seed of animosity among general populace who are very ignorant, who don't know the difference between Roman Catholics and other Christians. Now, Your Eminence, haven't we been pastors? Are you not a pastor? Are not the Roman Catholic priests pastors? The etymological elucidation of a pastor is a shepherd. Aren't you a shepherd? You are. You are a pastor. And your priests are pastors. Pastor is a descriptive expression to a shepherd. It's not a term to denote terrorists. But now the term pastor has become a terrorist terminology. So a pastor is a terrorist because he is right now an extremist. He wants to see the destruction of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. He wants to see the destruction of Hinduism in Sri Lanka. And now, after your statement, the pastors want to see the destruction of Roman Catholicism in Sri Lanka. So the pastors and the Christians want to make Sri Lanka a Christian nation, a nation which doesn't have Buddhists, Hindus, and Catholics. That's wrong, Your Eminence, that's wrong. We, the non-Roman Catholic Christians, are a minority, and we have no problem remaining that way. We don't want to convert people into Christianity. There are those, okay, I agree, Your Eminence, that there are crooked pastors. There are crooks who call themselves pastors. There are crooks who call themselves Christians. Okay, if any of my Buddhist fellow countrymen are watching this, may I ask you a question? Please do not misunderstand me. Please do not misconstrue what I say here. Very politely, I'm asking you a question. Have we not seen a small minority, a handful of Buddhist monks who have gotten themselves involved in pedophilia, narcotics, and some other evil deeds? Yes. Are we going to say that the entire the community of Buddhist monks is like that? Okay, coming back to Your Eminence. Throughout the past history of the church, the history of the Roman Catholic Church, haven't we seen pedophiles and other evil people who became priests or who got caught whilst being a Roman Catholic priest? These people have been engaged in all these malicious acts. Yes. But comparatively, those crooks have always been in the small minority. And it's same with any religion and any ethnicity, Your Eminence. Not all Tamils were extremists. Not all Sinhalese attacked the Tamils. Now, when the communal riots happened in Sri Lanka, I was attacked in 1977 and 1983. But I want to say something. I will never say that the Sinhala people attacked me. Why? Because it was not the Sinhala people who attacked the Tamils. It was some looters and some extremists who spoke Sinhala who did that to us. And do you know who protected us? Sinhala people. Sinhala people protected us. They took us into their homes. They hid us in their homes. They fed us their food, not expecting a thing. Not expecting a thing. What lovely people are those Sinhalese people. So are we going to say that all Sinhalese are anti-Tamil, all Sinhalese are anti-ethnic? I mean, they want the ethnic cleansing in Sri Lanka? No. Not all Tamils wanted a separate nation. Not all Sinhalese wanted the Tamils out of Sri Lanka. On the same token, not all Buddhists want the Christians out. No, 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 no. I have a lot of Buddhist friends, lovely people. And I have a lot of Buddhist people who watch my programs. They are Buddhists, but they watch my programs. Why? Are they converting to Christianity, or do I ask them to convert to Christianity? Why? No, I don't have to. And therefore, Your Eminence, not all pastors are crooks. Not all Christians are crooks. And I want to say why I'm making this video again and again. I want to say it is not to protect ourselves. It is not to defend ourselves. Because what is the point in defending us when we have gone through 2,000 years of persecution? Merely by making a video in defense of the pastors and Christians, am I going to avert impending persecution? No, Your Eminence. This is not a video about defending the pastors or defending Christianity. I don't have to defend Christianity. I don't have to defend pastors. I'm ready to die for my faith. But I'm here to very humbly and respectfully point out to you, Your Eminence, that as the leader of the Roman Catholic community of Sri Lanka, you have publicly sown a seed of dissension, a seed of animosity, a seed of ignorance, and a seed of hatred among innocent listeners pertaining to Christians and pastors. I don't know what I want you to do. I don't think I want you to do anything, Your Eminence. I just want to say this. I don't want anyone who is watching this to do anything about this video. This is just a heart cry of a pastor, of a Christian, about a betrayal that has happened on the part of somebody who we respected, who we loved, who we stood with when we were all attacked together. We stood with the Catholic people, we stood with the Cardinal, and we empathized with everybody who were victimized by the bomb blasts. We did not just cry for the people, for the Christians who died in Batticaloa. No, we cried for all the victims, irrespective of their religion, their background. We were appalled and shocked, and we cried. To date, we are crying. We are so sad. But what has happened is more saddening. Somebody who we love, somebody who we respect, somebody who we really look up to, a hero who averted bloodshed subsequent to that bomb blast, has betrayed us by saying that we are extremists, and also asking the government, Your Eminence, you have asked the government to look into this matter and do something about it. Nobody is asking the government to look into the issue of drugs, alcohol, and many other destructive elements in Sri Lanka. And I'm not saying that you should have done that. No, Your Eminence. No. You have a lot of work to do as the Cardinal of Sri Lanka. You have a lot of work to do. But in order to defend yourself and defend your church, you have betrayed us and you have requested the government to take action against us. Is that right? If it is right to your conscience, then who am I to talk to you, Your Eminence? You are such an honorable, educated person with a very, very, very high responsibility. Perhaps, Your Eminence, you could be the next Pope, who knows? Such a honorable man you are. So who am I to tell you what to do? I'm just saying what you have done has become a very poisonous seed among many Sri Lankans. Not the intelligent thinking kind, but the regular people. I'm not saying to the fools, I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about people who are very upset and perturbed over all these Mr. Victor Ratnayaka's prayer and all that kind of stuff. Many people we are in a nation where we are having a lot of turmoil all around us, Corona, COVID-19. And that is why people were flocking to Kegal to buy that pannier from Mr. Dhammika. We know what's happening in Sri Lanka. Everybody is in a in a pandemonium, Your Eminence. And at this juncture, I don't think it was a good thing for you to have said what you said about pastors and Christians. Well, on that note, I will close, and I want to say to all of you, whether you are Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims, Catholics, or atheists, agnostics, whoever you are, whether you like us or not, I want to say that Jesus loves you. And as a representative of Jesus, I also want to say that I also love you. And may Jesus bless you with the blessing of salvation, which will take us to heaven. God bless Sri Lanka. God bless all the people of Sri Lanka.